Today a new chapter in the financial world has begun, one that silences the whispers and replaces them with an official declaration. The Iraqi Gazette has formally confirmed a new foreign exchange rate for the Iraqi Dinar. This is not a rumor circulating in online forums or a speculative forecast. It is a published legal mandate, a definitive statement that holds the weight of law. For a long time, investors, analysts, and currency enthusiasts have been anticipating this very moment, and now that anticipation has become a tangible reality. The path forward for exchanging this currency has now been officially laid out, signifying a profound shift in the financial landscape. Stay with me for the full broadcast as we delve into the details of what this confirmation means, how it influences the global Forex markets, and what it signals for those who hold the Iraqi Dinar. This is Dinar Daily, your dedicated source for timely updates, verified analysis, and insights into global currency developments. The headline for today is definitive. The Iraqi Gazette confirms a new Forex exchange rate, and dinar holders are now in a position to act. This is the type of news that will be chronicled in history books and reflected on global trading screens for years to come. For the first time, this official confirmation from the Gazette aligns perfectly with reports from Iraq's central bank, communications from the U.S. Treasury, and the informed perspectives we have been following for months. The synchronicity of these sources provides a level of credibility that was previously absent. So, what exactly does this development mean for those who have been following the Iraqi Dinar story? The Iraqi Gazette is far more than a simple government bulletin or an online announcement board. It is the single most authoritative legal record in the Republic of Iraq, and its importance cannot be overstated. When a new regulation, an amendment, or a legislative change is published within its pages, it immediately transforms from a mere discussion or a piece of speculation into enforceable law. For decades, Iraq has used this mechanism to give official weight to its government's decisions, ensuring that there is no ambiguity about which laws are in force. The moment an item is published in the Gazette, it ceases to be a rumor whispered in financial circles or a leaked draft circulating among political insiders. Instead, it becomes a permanent and recognizable part of Iraq's legal framework, one that is respected both domestically and internationally. Therefore, the recent confirmation of a new Forex exchange rate in the Gazette holds monumental significance. This is not simply another announcement about monetary policy. It is the Iraqi government's final and undeniable move to align its national currency with broader global standards. In practical terms, this means that international foreign exchange markets, major central banks, and even local businesses within Iraq can now treat this new rate as the official law of the land. This removes the shadow of uncertainty that previously clouded such changes, providing a clear and stable foundation for financial activities. This transition is about much more than just numbers on a trading screen. It signals the country's profound commitment to economic reform, global transparency, and its full integration into a financial system where credibility and stability are essential for long-term success. The implications of this move are far-reaching because they establish three core principles that will support Iraq's evolving financial landscape. First is the principle of legality. The new exchange rate is now legally anchored, meaning that every bank, money service provider, and foreign investor is required to recognize and adhere to it. This legal certainty eliminates loopholes and curtails the underground gray market, trading that previously undermined confidence. The second principle is transparency. By openly publishing the rate, Iraq is sending a clear message to international markets that it is not operating in secrecy. It is inviting the world to participate in a new era of openness. Investors are often wary of economies where secrecy overshadows official policy, but this confirmation reassures them that Iraq is serious about stability and reform. Finally, the third principle is liquidity. The ability for banks and Forex platforms worldwide to confidently post, trade, and exchange the dinar at a rate backed by the Gazette will immediately deepen financial activity. As liquidity grows, so does confidence, and confidence is a powerful driver of both domestic and foreign investment. This is precisely why today is not just another routine update in the ongoing story of Iraq's financial evolution. It marks a critical turning point where official words have become legally binding, and that law has created a concrete foundation for economic growth. To understand why this confirmation resonates so strongly across the world, we can turn to the insights of respected voices in the financial and economic space. Musa Said al-Mutlaq, a well-regarded economist based in Baghdad, articulated it perfectly, stating, Publishing the new exchange rate in the Gazette is the final stamp of authenticity. Without this step, everything else remains talk. Now the global system recognizes Iraq as a credible trading partner. His perspective highlights a reality that many inside Iraq have long understood. Policy changes often remain in a state of uncertainty until the Gazette gives them official, legal standing. With this latest action, all ambiguity is removed. Investors, traders, and policymakers no longer need to speculate on whether Iraq will follow through on its commitments. Instead, they can proceed with a new level of confidence, knowing that the new exchange rate is binding, regulated, and enforceable by law for Iraq itself. This is not merely about gaining international recognition. It's also about reclaiming its rightful place as a serious participant in global commerce, a position that has been elusive since decades of conflict and sanctions disrupted its economic trajectory. Across the Atlantic, as market strategist Jonathan Reed emphasizes the direct, practical impact this has on American investors and financial institutions. In his words, for dinar investors in America, this Gazette confirmation bridges the gap between policy and reality. Banks can now activate internal systems, screens, and appointment scheduling. What Reed points out is the operational shift that occurs when law replaces speculation. Up until now, many American banks and financial institutions had their systems on standby, hesitant to update platforms or prepare customer-facing processes for a currency still shrouded in rumor. The Gazette confirmation changes everything, giving compliance departments and legal teams the official green light to move forward. This action paves the way for individual investors who have been holding the Iraqi Dinar to finally see institutional support align with the reality they have long been anticipating. Reed's statement underscores that the impact of Iraq's legal step extends far beyond Baghdad. It directly influences the financial lives of people thousands of miles away from Asia. The reaction carries equal weight but through a different lens. Forex analyst Ming, based in Singapore, offers this perspective. Once a currency moves from speculative gray zones into government-backed law, liquidity floods in. That's why we're seeing immediate upward movement in trading platforms worldwide. Her analysis points to one of the most powerful mechanisms in global finance: liquidity. When a market or currency is uncertain, traders hesitate, volumes shrink, and activity stalls. But when that uncertainty is replaced with official confirmation, the opposite occurs. Trading volumes surge, confidence expands, and global platforms quickly adjust to reflect the new reality. This is particularly important in Asia, where major trading hubs like Singapore, Hong Kong, and Tokyo thrive on high-volume activity and are among the first to react to changes in international currency. Ling's comment confirms that Iraq's decision is not confined to its own borders. It sends ripples outward instantly, reshaping capital flows and recalibrating investor expectations on a global scale. When we consider these three expert perspectives together, a single truth becomes undeniable. This development is not an isolated event, nor is it symbolic or speculative. It is a binding, global, and active shift. From Baghdad to New York to Singapore, authoritative voices are converging on the same conclusion. The Gazette's confirmation of Iraq's new Forex exchange rate is much more than a technical adjustment. It is a significant milestone that signals Iraq's arrival on the global stage with legal clarity, economic courage, and market credibility. Each of these experts sees the same phenomenon from a different vantage point, and the alignment of their views emphasizes just how real, impactful, and immediate this shift has become. The instant consequences of Iraq's confirmation did not stop at Baghdad's borders. They rippled outward into the global financial system with surprising speed and force. In the United States and Europe, the confirmation triggered a swift operational response from banks that had been closely monitoring developments. Reports suggest that major institutions are discreetly preparing limited appointment systems for early exchanges, creating internal scheduling frameworks for customers who may wish to redeem or trade their dinar holdings. This preparatory work signals that what was once considered theoretical is now actionable for these banks. Readiness is crucial, as regulatory compliance, customer service, and liquidity management must all be aligned. The Gazette confirmation provided the necessary green light to proceed, ensuring that when exchanges begin, the rollout will be methodical and structured, not chaotic. Beyond traditional banking, the foreign exchange world has also felt the effects. Leading platforms such as Bloomberg and Reuters have already begun adjusting their live dashboards and data feeds to integrate the updated IQD rates. This visibility transforms the Iraqi dinar from a peripheral interest into a mainstream topic of conversation among traders, hedge fund managers, and institutional investors. In Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, independent investors are closely watching Iraq's moves, with many anticipating that this shift could spark further currency reevaluations in regions with similar economic conditions. Mentions of currencies like the Vietnamese Dong and Zimbabwean dollar are particularly prominent in global forums, as investors draw parallels and speculate on whether Iraq's confirmation is the first domino to fall in a broader wave of adjustments. Thus, this is more than a national event. It is a potential global trigger, altering not only Iraq's financial standing but also the expectations and strategies of international markets at large. For individuals holding the Iraqi dinar, the Gazette confirmation represents a long-awaited transition from speculation into a tangible reality. For years, holders of this currency have endured uncertainty, navigating endless rumors, unofficial reports, and delays. With the official publication in the Gazette, however, those pieces of paper have transitioned into legally recognized, bank-ready assets. This shift is not merely symbolic. It has real, practical implications for how the dinar can be treated in both domestic and international banking contexts. Notes that were once regarded with skepticism are now tied to a transparent, enforceable exchange rate, meaning that redemption is no longer a question of if, but rather a matter of when and how for many. This moment represents the culmination of years of patience and research. Banks and redemption centers are preparing structured appointments, creating a controlled process to handle what could otherwise be an overwhelming surge in demand. Early indications suggest that contract rates are being discussed in certain circles, and those who follow this closely understand that these special rates often come with specific conditions, such as structured payouts or non-disclosure agreements for dinar holders. The next steps are clear. Preparation is essential. Having proper documentation on hand, such as a passport, government-issued ID, and proof of purchase, will be crucial for ensuring a smooth redemption process. At the same time, it is important to stay alert, as banks may release appointment scheduling windows with very little advance notice, possibly within a matter of hours or days. Finally, thinking strategically will be key for successful investors. Structured payouts, NDAs, and potential contract offers must be weighed carefully against personal financial goals before any decisions are made. While the Gazette confirmation may appear to the public as a sudden announcement, those with inside access understand that this development was the result of careful, deliberate coordination behind the scenes. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, worked closely with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, before finalizing the publication. This coordination ensured that the move would be aligned with international standards, and that no major institution would be caught off guard. The IMF's involvement highlights that this was not a unilateral decision made in isolation, but rather a collaborative effort designed to integrate Iraq more deeply into the global financial framework. That fact alone offers reassurance to investors that the change is both legitimate and sustainable. The U.S. Treasury also played a critical role, with the Gazette confirmation aligning neatly with previous statements about a global alignment of rates. This phrase, while somewhat opaque to casual observers, is well understood by financial insiders. It signifies that Iraq's decision was not made in a vacuum but is part of a broader international recalibration of currencies and reserves. Furthermore, major banks including Chase, Wells Fargo, and HSBC have already completed specialized staff training to prepare for IQD redemptions, indicating that the necessary infrastructure is already in place. Employees have been briefed on compliance, customer interaction, and security protocols, ensuring that when the first wave of exchanges begins, the process will be both secure and efficient. In short, this was not a spontaneous shift. It was a strategically planned, globally coordinated move that aligns Iraq's monetary system with the wider world and validates years of behind-the-scenes preparation. For investors, understanding this context provides reassurance that what has happened is not temporary but is part of a carefully constructed roadmap. When we step back and look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that this moment is about much more than currency. It is about resilience, belief, and the vindication of those who held on to a vision when the world around them was full of doubt. For years, Iraqi dinar holders were often dismissed, labeled as unrealistic dreamers, or told that their hopes were nothing more than fantasies chasing a mirage. The mainstream narrative often suggested that Iraq could never achieve the stability necessary to make its currency globally relevant again. Yet here we are, standing on the other side of speculation, with the Gazette itself providing undeniable confirmation that the dinar is no longer undervalued or ignored. The official ink on those government pages has silenced the critics in a way no rumor or unofficial statement ever could. This is not hearsay. It is law. Reflecting on the journey to reach this milestone, one cannot ignore the weight of the delays, the endless flow of rumors, and the emotional toll of long nights spent waiting for change. And yet, those who persevered now stand to see their patience rewarded. The transformation of endurance into empowerment is profound. What was once considered a gamble is now validated by the very government that issues the currency. This is why the role of dinar holders must be reframed. They are not merely investors hoping for a favorable outcome. They are visionaries who recognize potential long before the world acknowledged it. Today, as the Gazette provides its stamp of legitimacy, that vision has transitioned into reality. And with it comes both a potential for financial gain and a sense of pride. This is more than financial change. It is the triumph of belief sustained through adversity. In moments of transformation like this, clarity and preparation are the greatest allies an investor can have. That's why a structured, step-by-step approach is essential for anyone holding the Iraqi dinar. The first step is verification. Every serious investor should confirm the information directly by reviewing the official Gazette publication that contains the exchange rate adjustment. This eliminates doubt and ensures that actions are based on verified law rather than hearsay. Once the Gazette confirmation is secured, the second step is to check bank communications. U.S. institutions, as well as international banks, will begin aligning their systems, and subtle cues such as updated platforms, appointment announcements, or new customer advisories will serve as signals that exchanges are imminent. Staying alert to these communications is vital, as timelines can shift quickly once systems are live. The third step is organizing your currency. Make sure your Iraqi dinar is neatly categorized by denomination, as this will streamline the exchange process and reduce delays when redemption appointments occur. Fourth, you must plan your strategy. Decide whether you will accept the publicly available street rates, pursue contract rates, which may involve structured payouts and non-disclosure agreements, or hold part of your investment for long-term appreciation. This decision should align with your personal financial goals, risk tolerance, and future plans. Finally, the fifth step is to stay focused. Confusion, fear, and misinformation often surface at critical moments, and hesitation can cause missed opportunities. By remaining calm, informed, and proactive, you place yourself in the best position to act decisively when the opportunity arrives. The process is not complicated, but it does require discipline and foresight, qualities that every successful investor must embody. While the information shared here has powerful implications, it is essential to frame it within the proper boundaries of responsibility. This broadcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It should not be interpreted as direct financial advice, nor does it substitute for the professional guidance of licensed financial advisors, tax consultants, or legal experts. Every investor's circumstances are unique, and what may be an ideal path for one individual could present risks or limitations for another. Before making any exchange decisions or signing agreements, it is strongly recommended that you consult with a qualified financial professional who can provide personalized guidance based on your specific situation. It is also important to remember that currency rates can and do fluctuate. While the Gazette confirmation provides a strong legal anchor for Iraq's new exchange rate, market dynamics, international relations, and unforeseen economic events can still influence timelines and outcomes. Additionally, structured payouts, contract rates, and redemption terms may vary significantly depending on your bank, region, and individual agreements. Investors must remain adaptable and avoid making assumptions that all opportunities will be uniform across the board. Finally, recognize that financial empowerment is not only about seizing opportunities, but also about managing them responsibly. Approaching this moment with prudence, legal awareness, and a commitment to informed decision-making ensures that the benefits gained will be sustainable in the long run. By keeping these disclaimers in mind, investors can move forward with confidence, knowing that their actions are grounded in both optimism and responsibility. As we reach the conclusion of this broadcast, it is important to pause and fully appreciate the magnitude of what has taken place. For years, the story of the Iraqi dinar has existed in a liminal space, hovering between possibility and speculation, fueling debates, stirring hopes, and provoking criticism. But today marks the point where that uncertainty gives way to reality. The publication in the Iraqi Gazette has shifted the narrative with a single stroke of official ink. Today, speculation has been silenced and replaced with confirmation. Today, a new Forex exchange rate has been validated at the highest level of law. And today, dinar holders around the globe find themselves standing at the edge of transformation, with the door to financial redemption and empowerment opening wider than ever before. This closing message is not only about money. It is about validation. It is about the faith that was ridiculed, mocked, or doubted now being rewarded by undeniable confirmation. It is about vision seeing beyond the horizon when others only saw the desert, and now watching that vision materialize into a tangible opportunity. Every step of the journey, the waiting, the uncertainty, the endless cycle of delays and rumors was leading to this pivotal moment. Now it is time to hold your head high, to prepare wisely, and to embrace this opportunity with both humility and confidence. Remember, this is more than a financial milestone. It is a human milestone. It is the vindication of belief, the transformation of patience into reward, and the recognition that perseverance does indeed pay off. This is your moment, and how you handle it will define not just your financial future, but also your legacy as an investor who dared to believe when belief was hardest. Stay connected here on Dinar Daily for updates, step-by-step guides, and breaking confirmations as banks begin rolling out appointments. The journey is not over. If anything, it is just beginning. And as always, the keys remain the same. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay blessed. Before we sign off, let me extend a heartfelt thank you to everyone tuning in to this broadcast. Your commitment to staying informed, your discipline in waiting patiently, and your courage in standing firm through years of doubt have brought you to this very moment. If the information shared today has given you clarity, motivation, and the confidence to prepare for what comes next, I encourage you to show your support. Hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this video with fellow investors who need to hear this message. Together, as a community, we strengthen each other and amplify the impact of this historic moment. Make sure to turn on notifications because the next 24 hours may deliver updates that will be remembered for decades to come. We are not simply reporting on another piece of financial news. We are living through history in motion. The confirmation in the Gazette has forever changed the trajectory of Iraq's economy and, by extension, the destiny of everyone who has held on to the dinar in expectation of this day. The waiting has ended, the speculation has quieted, and a new chapter has begun. The Iraqi Gazette has confirmed it. The dinar's new era is here. Stand ready, act wisely, and embrace this moment as both an investor and a visionary. Thank you for being part of this journey, and we will see you in the updates to come.